So let's take a look at a step-by-step approach to UX design. First, you have to conduct research and discovery. As I've said before, everything needs to be grounded in research and the insights coming out of that research. Your research should focus on the user, but should also include information on the business and the technology. Next, you should create the site's basic structure. Here you're taking raw data and making it manageable and navigable. This helps the user learn and understand what you're trying to communicate to them. Categories and pages should flow from the most broad to more and more narrow. The more intuitively designed the structure is, the easier it is for the user to understand the site's goals. You need to look at this from both the macro and the micro level, the entire site architecture down to each page's content. Then, the third step, you have to analyze that content. If you've inherited a website or app, you should do a content audit. Look at the content that there is and then analyze it. For more information on content audits, refer to the content marketing lecture in my previous course. If you're creating a new digital asset, a website or app, you have to determine your content strategy. This is a plan that outlines what content is needed and when and how it will be created. Again, refer to the content marketing lecture for more information. Next, create a site map. This is a structural plan or outline for how the website pages will be laid out and organized. Start with the home page and what it contains. Then navigation flows from this. Next, you arrange your pages of content below the navigation topics and continue doing this until all of your content is included. Don't forget your static information that's on every page: footers, headers, search tools, etc. Now it's time to actually build the navigation. This helps the users determine things like, where am I? How did I get here? Where can I go next? And how do I get home? It's essentially a roadmap for the user of your site. Next, we move into creating the layout. Here we're looking at 4 zones: the header across the top of the page, the left sidebar, which is exactly what it sounds like, the central content, and the right sidebar. Then we have the footer across the bottom of the page. An example of this can be found in the text. Of course, there are other elements besides the main content that need to be included, so we need to assemble these. They include things like forms, calls to action, search inputs, and other somewhat standard elements. So assemble your additional elements. Next, we will look at the actual design and the visuals. This is the first impression for the user, so it is of the utmost importance. This should match your overall design look and feel for marketing and branding. Things like color and imagery need to be considered carefully. And of course, as is a benefit of digital in particular, you can test the website and make sure that you implement based on the results. Test as much as possible, as often as possible, and as early as possible. And then you're ready to launch.